What's going on, everyone? It's Serper15. Today I wanted to do a quick video about Amaryllis. I had a viewer from Colombia, Juan K, have a request on how to grow these bulbs. And although this video is coming a little bit late, better late than never, I guess, right? So Amaryllis are tropical bulbs. They have their culture. They're basically grown around a dormancy period, or their culture revolves around a dormancy period. So that dormancy needs to last about 8 weeks, and it will not start growing until that 8 weeks has passed. And basically, while it's dormant, it needs a cool, ideally dark and dry is the most important, dry place to rest. For the duration of those 8 weeks. I would not let it drop anything near 32 degrees Fahrenheit. 32 degrees Fahrenheit is freezing. I want to say that's 0 in Celsius. Sorry if I'm wrong, but basically you don't want it to freeze. But it can get close to 32. I've had this plant, I've had Amaryllis that were out in, I want to say it was 34, and the plant still lived. So yeah, so this is a double flowering Amaryllis. You can see, I actually had to borrow this from my grandmother to do this video because she grows her Amaryllis on a normal time frame, which is to flower around Christmas or the winter holidays. Yeah, I like to grow mine in the tropical garden, in my tropical garden, so you can see that's what mine looks like right now. So you can see that it's still alive, but it's just not very, you know, you can see it's alive, but it's not, I don't know, doesn't look too hot, but you can see right there is the scape. The flower usually emerges before the leaves. I have seen sometimes it'll be the other way around. But 9 times out of 10, the flower will come out before the leaves. This Amaryllis here, whoops, looks similar to that one, except I prefer single flowers as opposed to double. Just because usually the doubles look corny, but that's actually a really nice plant. So how to break, Amaryllis will break dormancy fairly easily. It usually takes about 5 weeks to do so. So if you wanted it to be flowering around Christmas, you'd need to start it 5 weeks earlier. And I would just do, you know, 5 or 6 just to be safe sometimes. The way I do it is I have a grow light that screws into a bulb, or a light socket that screws into a bulb. It's just an LED, you know, one of those red and blue ones, and it's meant for an individual plant, so it's not too powerful. I actually put it about this far away from the plant, and then you'd have a heat mat underneath. Now you'd want to have the air temperature and the soil temperature be fairly consistent, the same. You know, you wouldn't want to have set your heat mat to like 60 degrees and then have the air be like 50. So having it in rough equilibrium is very important. So once you get the Amaryllis to grow, and the heat mat might make it break dormancy a little faster. Once you get it to grow, it's pretty, the care is very easy. You want to keep the soil moist, but not soggy. Because again, these are bulbs. They do not like soil that retains too much moisture. While they bloom, I would recommend, if you wanted to fertilize, so that you get a nice show like this, I would fertilize a fast release that's high in phosphorus. So when you're looking at a fertilizer label, you're going to see 3 numbers, 9 times out of 10. The first number is for nitrogen, which fuels lush green growth. The second number is for phosphorus, which is which triggers blossoming and root growth. And then the third number is potassium, or potash, and that basically is like an all-around, kind of helps along everything. So when you plant them, if you were to just buy an amaryllis bulb from the store and it's just a bulb, it's not potted up, you're going to want to have a good part of the bulb sticking out of the soil. So like if you peel back this kind of Spanish moss looking stuff, you can see that this grower my grandmother did the same thing. And you want them to grow, and because you can see these stems and leaves are rather thick and fleshy, so it can get tippy. So I recommend planting it in something heavy like a terracotta or clay container. I have once this starts growing, I have a container I can just kind of slip this pot into. Normally, like I said, this does grow in a tropical garden, but I just kind of wanted to have some color in the winter. So this will probably be around late January, New Year's time, before it actually, into February, before this gets going. And you can see that it's making progress. So with the once it's done flowering, you want to give it a fertilizer that's high in nitrogen and slow release. And what that'll do, like the nitrogen fuels green leafy growth. So that would help the plant to grow and photosynthesize, so that next year you can get, it helps it get a nicer show of flowers, and it'll feed the bulb. Once the leaves start to yellow, I usually let it get to the point where they're kind of flopping over and quite yellow. But once they get to that point where you got to cut them, I would recommend, although it is kind of a soft tissue, I would recommend still using a knife. And although I don't like putting ribbons on plants, that's actually a good marker, and that's about where I would cut it off, is right at the top of that. So basically, you can treat, I have a few other plants that, like this calla lily, which I started from a bulb. The culture is very similar. Same with that gorgeous Mayan mask alocasia. So the culture is very similar with other bulbous type plants. So yeah, and then once you cut it off, it's just the same kind of thing. It's that dry, cool period that you can do the same for the calla, alocasia, and stuff like that. So yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any other horticultural requests, I will do my best to get them out as soon as possible. Thank you for watching, and show me some video replies on your amaryllis and other tropicals and how they are doing. Alright guys, thanks for watching.